There is no other company like Kind. Kind is an innovative snacking company that focuses on doing the kind thing. Kind is not a diet, protein, energy, or meal replacement, but instead a healthy snack. Everything they produce is made and manufactured in the United States. Their social mission is to give back and do the right thing. They have programs like the Kind Awesome Cards for small acts of kindness and monthly grant programs for socially impactful ideas. Kind not only makes delicious and healthy snacks, but focuses on making the world a little kinder.
The amount of time that the Kind Company has been in existence, it has seen immense growth. They want to maintain the company culture that has brought the company to their current level, even as they expand their organization. Part of their culture involves teamwork, being honest, and kind to each other. Employees even report to feeling kinder just by working there.
The main challenge that our group of consultants set to figure out is how to maintain key parts of their culture and keep who they are as Kind grows. Our consultants, Rohan, Jake, Matt, Tushik, and Kenny, have worked together and compiled research in order to find the best recommendations to mitigate Kind's problem and increase their organizational efficiency.
First, we will begin by analyzing the industry that Kind operates in. Kind is in the snack food industry, which has seen tremendous growth in recent times. According to the industry report, it has seen steady demand and growth over the past 5 years, with $38 billion in revenue and $5.6 billion in profit. The annual growth rate from 2011 to 2016 has been at 2.9%, with an expected growth rate of 0.9% from 2016 to 2021. More and more people have started to consistently eat morning snacks rather than late night snacks, and healthier snacks rather than indulgent ones. Currently, about 57% of American adults purchase snack bars. This broad acceptance of snack bars equates to a wide range of options available to consumers. Thus, it is more important than ever for Kind to maintain a strong brand position and image.
For Kind to combat the inconsistencies and ambiguity of growth, our consultants have come up with several solutions to help the company retain its current employees, attract qualified candidates, increase organizational efficiency, and promote and maintain Kind culture and values.
The recruiting process really has to take into account cultural fit. And even though a person may be qualified for a position, if they're not a good cultural fit, make the decision not to hire the person simply because, again, it's actually not a good cultural fit. So organizations that are going through enormous period of growth can maintain that culture as long as they bring into account in that selection process the importance of fitting that culture. Most organizations, they start, when they actually grow, they actually do start to lose that culture that really made them successful, because they start hiring people because, again, they actually need to fill the positions quickly, and they put less emphasis on the cultural piece. Making sure that your applicant pool is large enough to where you can hire based upon, skills, attitude, and the cultural fit piece all at the same time. And it depends on the types of positions they're hiring for. If you're hiring in areas like marketing, finance, accounting, you generally have more like a larger applicant pool. But if you're in more specialized areas like software engineering, computer science, that's the areas where, again, it becomes more difficult to actually find, first of all, people who are actually qualified for the jobs. And then when you put on the cultural fit constraint, it's much more difficult.
Our first solution is to create a Chief Cultural Officer, expanding the HR department. The Chief Cultural Officer will be in charge of instilling and maintaining kind values, come up with new ideas to spread kindness. The CCO may incentivize employees who best exemplifies kind and give them recognition for performing their job well and being kind. He or she will be in charge of planning Employee Kind Day once a year, where employees will be able to participate in team-building activities to better get to know each other, acknowledge goals and achievements of the past year, and have some fun. Many companies hold an employee day like Under Armour with their Armour Day to reinforce company culture and increase teamwork. Furthermore, the CCO will play an integral part of the hiring process to ensure candidates align with company culture and values and ensure a smooth onboarding process. This will be done by creating a cultural assessment. It will allow for consistency in the hiring process and ensure all employees fit the Kind brand. The officer will also hold monthly focus groups with various people from different departments to make sure that all employees, new and old, are heard and are performing consistent with firm principles and code of conduct, and report these findings to upper-level management. Kind performs acts of goodness and gives back to the community, not to drive sales, but because it's the right thing to do. Therefore, it is time to incorporate it into the actual company guidelines. Our consultants are proposing to mandate every employee participate in a community service activity at least once per quarter. This will preserve the kindness culture and further increase individuals' feeling of kindness.
According to a Business 2 community report, companies nowadays are increasingly adding a purpose driver behind their product. First, leading with a purpose can help cultivate a team of individuals who see their work as an opportunity for fulfillment and a chance to give back to their communities. As a result, management spends less time motivating employees because purpose-oriented employees are already motivated to work in an environment that is focused on actualizing their vision. Also, the sense of purpose will attract millennial employees, as they are less focused on self-actualization and instead on finding meaning in their lives. Within a purpose-based environment, Kind will not need to necessarily motivate employees as to promote growth, but instead continue to stress their socially responsible bottom line.
In addition, we have seen the reform hiring process proves to be successful at Southwest Airlines. According to the Economist Group, Southwest uses a rigorous interview process when trying to hire new employees that results in a low turnover, high customer satisfaction, and self-motivated employees. While the way that they hire is more costly, Southwest believes that it is necessary to work hard to define their core competencies in order to find people who are good fits for the company.
According to our own survey distributed to the students at the University of Maryland, we have found that 85% of respondents have stated that having an internal group focused on company culture would be a beneficial addition to the firm. On a scale of 1 to 5 of how important company culture is to employees, 78% of respondents have said that it is important or highly important. Lastly, 87% of students said that firms that value social responsibility are viewed more positively.
From our survey results, having a chief culture officer would be a beneficial addition to the company, and mandating community service to ensure community involvement will lead to a more positive brand image.
In order to help implement our changes, we're going to utilize a mix of Cotter's 8-step model of organizational change and the organizational development model. This will help keep employees active during the change, keeping them engaged throughout the process. This will also help managers and change agents by providing them with a more detailed guide for implementing the actual change.
Expect there to be some resistance to our changes stemming from change-resistant employees, decreased productivity due to worker backlash, potential loss of loyalty in certain employees, and loss of motivation. In addition to this, there could be several workers who would not like the fact that the community service is mandated, as it can be inconvenient for them. In order to deal with this issue and all other forms of resistance, the HR department should fully explain the reasons for such changes in a memo or presentation and why such alterations are for the good of everyone in the company.
To help implement our change, we'll be looking for a leader that is relations and goal-oriented, extroverted, highly motivated, and a true believer in our change. We want our leader to have a high emotional intelligence, be comfortable with delivering feedback, and be able to use goal setting and expectancy theories.
In summation, we propose to implement a Chief Cultural Officer in order to maintain kind values, create an Employee Kind Day, update the hiring process to ensure new candidates fit company culture, hold focus groups, and oversee the new mandate for community service.